Welcome to Addington Manor here in Buckinghamshire for the British Young Horse Showjumping Championships. It's a showcase of young horses in the UK, and it's a great opportunity for producers to see how their up-and-coming horses compare to others. It's all about talent and potential, and we've got some of the finest breeders and producers here today.
We certainly have these young horse finals past winners that have gone on to international success. Argento with John Whitaker, European Championship combinations of Billy Congo and William Funnell have all been produced through these wonderful finals.
How important do you find these young horse championships in the UK?
Very important, because it's the right schooling ground for the future. If you have a young horse that does well here, then you will have a good horse on your hands.
Addington is a great place to come and jump the young horses. It's a brilliant showcase. It's nice to get the horses into such a big ring. You've got, big scary jumps, and actually they've got to learn to jump those and put up with them. And all right, they can have a spook and get it wrong, but then they've got to get it right second time. And there's no place to learn like this when they're a young horse.
It's made it really interesting here at Addington. A lot of people come from all over England. It's a great show. Everyone's aiming for it. It's really important for producing all the horses and seeing all the horses here.
It's the one time in the year that the horses get to jump in their own ages against their own like. For pure show jumping, what you see today is as good as a 7-year-old class as you'll see anywhere. And here they've been here 3 days. They've jumped on grass, they've jumped on sand. It's probably a truer winner here than you're going to get Horse of the Year show where you turn up for a day. We've got some really nice young ones coming on, and here's where they're all made. And we've had some lovely horses. I think we've seen some good jumping and some really nice horses this week.
A fantastic week of jumping here at Addington, seeing all the age groups through 4-year-olds through to 8-year-olds. We're going to be concentrating on the 7-year-old finals. Big bonuses on offer also throughout the week, so plenty to jump for here. We're going to take a look at Robert Whitaker and the Arco side Aristio by that British Championship horse.
He's jumped very well actually. The first day I actually had a time fault, but he was clear over the jumps, and then yesterday he was clear as well. So, he's been jumping very good, and before the show he's been jumping good, so he should have a good chance today.
He jumps exactly the same as Arco. He's a lovely model, and of course we think a lot of him because he does have a lot of ability, and we think he can go all the way, in this sport. He's come up through the ranks remarkably quickly. He's got a tremendous jump. He started off being schooled by my daughter Lisa at her farm in Shropshire. Then Robert took over the ride at the beginning of last year, but he hadn't done a lot. I think he'd had an injury in his early years, if I remember, that set him back a year. But he's caught up so quickly, and today we would hope he'll jump well. Apparently he's been jumping very well this week here, so just fingers crossed, really.
Well, certainly has the look of his father Arco, who went so close to a gold medal in Athens in 2004, ridden by Nick Skelton, was rated as one of the very top horses in the world, topped a lot of the breeding rankings throughout his career, and now producing fantastic progeny. Well, all throughout the week as well, it's also about consistent jumping, a £4,000 bonus available to horses that can jump clear here all week, and that's split between all those that do that. There'll be very few, I can assure you, but looking like a very good chance for Robert Whitaker as he starts off is his chance at this 7-year-old title, supported by Addington Manor. It also has a fantastic opportunity to qualify for one of the big young horse finals at the Horse of the Year show. So just coming to that final line, a horse whose mother's sire was Voltaire, certainly bred for the job, Aristio, and Robert Whitaker for the Haleses, 77.28 the time, but it's the clear that puts them in the mix. So Robert Whitaker through with his clear round, now the chance of Louise Pavit with the Brendan Studd's Sussex Caratino.
She was clear the first day, clear yesterday, had a bit of a bit break yesterday, but luckily it stayed intact until the end, so that was good. And she loves it here. She won the Fox Hunter second round last year. She won the 4-year-olds here, the 5-year-olds and the 6-year-olds last year. So hopefully she'll be in with a good chance.
Bit of pressure on her today for the 7-year-olds, but whatever will be, will be. She's been busy while Louise has been off having a baby. She's actually had 3 children by embryo transfer, and she's also got another 2 cooking for next year by a horse called Warrior that went very well here at several shows. He jumped at the London Olympic Games last year. So that's another one, hopefully cooking for another 4 years down the line.
Certainly thinking about the future already, not just of this horse, but of the breeding progeny to come for them. Owned by the Brendan Stone, as I mentioned, by Caratino Glory, out of a mare called Special to Me, whose sire was Hamilton. But we've seen the Brendan Stud over the years produce fantastic results here at the Young Horse Show, and as we've heard, produce horses that have competed here and at Horse of the Year Show and then gone on to compete at the Olympic Games. Well, here at the Young Horse Championships, there's been several of those over the years, and the courses this week designed by Olympic course designer Bob Ellis, and seeing some of those Olympic fences also featuring as part of the course as well. A great opportunity here at Addington. But Louise, as she mentioned, qualifying for the Horse of the Year Show here, 2 previously coming through those championships for the Fox Hunter title, and has a very good chance here this week. We've seen that clear already of Robert Whitaker, and it looks like Louise Pavit joining them. Yes, she's very much back to form. Sussex Carantino, and Louise Pavit takes one through for the Brendan Stud. Philip Miller now, who we've seen produce some fantastic horses, including Kariti RZ to win the Hickstead Derby this season. Riding for the Cornishes, it is a Dutch-bred horse by Berlin.
You've been producing horses for quite a long time, haven't you?
Yes, a long time now. Produced some really nice ones. So, and I've got a real nice bunch of like 4, 5, 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds now. So, hopefully, carry on.
Philip, who's in with a chance of the big bonus here this week at Addington at the British Young Horse Championships. £4,000 bonus for those horses that jump clear all week. This is one of them that's still in with a chance. A horse that he's been jumping a number of the big county shows as well, giving the horse experience there, but Dutch bred by the Van Grinsvens, in fact, who produced not only show jumpers but also top dressage horses as well. Out of a mare called Janian, going back to the breeding of Dutch Boy. And the Cornishes, as we mentioned, they're based down in Hertfordshire. Well, so many horses that they've produced through the years, right through to the top level. The likes of Marius Claudius that went on with Robert Smith, winners of the Fox Hunter title before now. And Philip Miller, we've seen this year producing Kariti RZ to go on to win the Hickstead Derby. And also doing so well in the International Stairway Series 2, as we've seen through many of the programmes. And already thinking about the future. Basic, who's jumped in several of those international stairways this season on those big county show competitions, again giving that experience to the big grass arenas there, and now very different prospects here on the surface. But as we've heard, a mix between the different types of riding surface here this week that produces the very best of champions. Clear there for Philip Miller, and Basic 74.65 the time, and leaves himself in with a chance of a very big payday. So several more to come in round 1. Good to see so many people out watching. Fascinating to see those young horses coming through, those stars of the future. We've seen the likes of Triple X competing here before now, that of course went on to Olympic gold. Dave McPherson with Gloria van Zutova. Belgian-bred horse, in fact, by Thunder van der Zutova, out of a mare called Glorios, and going back to the breeding of Glorio. David, who of course also produced a horse through to World Championship level 2010 with Chamberlain Z, unfortunately has that fence down. David based down in Kent. And this one of well, pretty well even mix between the mares and the geldings here. Just a smashing of stallions competing in this 7-year-old championship. And Bob Ellis, thinking all week, has to really produce courses that build all the way through, build in difficulty towards the final. Again, remembering the horse's age, their development, their education as they're coming through. This is a big competition for them, but we're also thinking about those international competitions to come. So with that second fence down, it's 8 faults and all, 79.04 this time around for Dave McPherson and Gloria van der Zuthoeven. So David with the 2 fences down, just the second part of this double, barely touches it, but I'm afraid it goes. It's 2 down on track for David McPherson. Well, now Laura Renwick with Bing Tang the second. Laura, who bought Limelight de Brève, her top horse, through these young horse championships several years ago now. And this horse, well owned by John and Laura, was bred by Edward Bleekman, who's based down in Devon. Dutch bred horse by Tangelo van der Zoethoeven also. And back to the breeding of Orlando. Laura's been competing this horse now, starting to step it up to some international competitions this season. Not been with her too long, in with a chance of that bonus as well. Horse that in fact won the 5-year-old title at the National Championships a few years ago now. Was originally from Neil Fidders. Grew up a lot as though in Spain, went well down there. And also a Horse and Hand Fox Hunter finalist coming up after winning at Hickstead this season. Very much the potential for a Grand Prix horse. A horse she was competing out in Spain a few weeks ago in La Coruña. 4-star international there in some of the next level international classes. And certainly looking a very exciting prospect. As you mentioned, in with a chance of the bonus as well. And certainly still is. So it's 2 clears, Laura Renwick and Bintang the second, and Philip Miller in with a share of that £4,000 bonus. So Laura Renwick through to round 2 for that jump off. It's a big field, 12 of them in all going forward to this 7-year-old final for the Young Horse Championship, as we see several names coming there, a rider's point of view as well, William Funnell and Stuart Harvey. That jump off to come after the break. Welcome back in the stage set for the final of the 7-year-old championship here at the British Young Horse Finals. Eagerly awaiting to see this young talent on show and who will come out with the title this year. 2 combinations already completing their rounds, Ultimate Z and Louise Pavit with the 4 faults, and Stuart Harvey with Ranta Z on a score of 8. So we've got 10 more to come forward in this jump off. William Funnell and Billy Onslow, bred by his own Billy Stud, alongside business partner Donald Barnwell, by Billy Congo, William Funnell's European Championship horse, out of a mare that's signed by Rocco on the Anglo-European stud book. And that one fence down so far. But of course we've seen so many good horses coming from the Billy Stud over the years now. Billy Angelo developing all the time, Billy Burr that then went on to big things. And of course Billy Congo that is really becoming the foundation stallion for them these days, by Vector. It's just the 4, 38.72. It's 4 there for William Funnell and Billy Onslow. Takes them into second place at this stage. And it was just the London Upright that came down, just touching that one off in front. Now Jude Burgess, Severly Hill. Owned by the Horsepower Motor Centre, was bred by Christian Clement. Is a self-Francais French-bred horse by Cabdullah Dutillard out of Grace de Revadi. And back to the breeding of Narcos II. You've seen Jude unfortunately pick up the 4 there. Coming in on the 4 faults to this final line. And it is just the 4 they pick up. The second part of that double taken away this time. It's 4:42.16 for Jude Burgess and Severly Hill. Into third place at this stage. Touching off both parts of that double. Now Matthew Body. Remy Cavalieri. Again, has been competing at a number of the county shows this season. Was bred by, or owned by Anne Bedford. Was by Handel II, which was a horse that Anne, in fact, produced, that went on to be ridden by Michael Whitaker. Went right up to the, going close in the World Cup finals before now. Out of René II for the Remy stud. British bred horse. But on the 4 faults so far, several being caught out by that double just on the way out. A long week of jumping here, but a format that really does bring the very best to the top. 4 faults there, 42.08 for Matthew Body and Remy Cavalieri. Puts them into third spot at the moment. Still looking for that first clear. Well, now the one we've been talking about, Robert Whitaker and Aristio, as we heard about earlier on, by Arco, bred by the Haleses. And another to have the upright down, same as William Funnell. Difficult with a big field for this jump off. How much you dare do and how much they push these young horses. Thinking of the future all the time. Coming in on the 4, you see them just jumping on the angle there to give themselves room to this fence here as much as they can. 4 it is. Good time, 40.40 from Robert Whitaker. Puts him into second spot at the moment with Aristio. But again, another exciting prospect with the future in mind. Barely touches that. But I'm afraid they all count. Stuart Harvey and Forever. Forever the 4th. Owned by Toby Duthie. The Oldenburg bred, in fact, by For Pleasure. Back to the breeding of Nimador. For Pleasure, who was an Olympic gold medal winning horse with Marcus Aining. And again, fascinating to get to the breeding of many of these, of the stallions. And of course, so much is also down to the mare as well. Producing those right combinations, the chemistry that can produce the superstars of the future. Jumps the last, and it is just the 4, 45.72. Touch slower on the pace. It's 4 there for Stuart Harvey and Forever into 6th place at the moment. Stuart, who's produced the likes of Peppermill, Charmetta over the years that have gone on to international ranks. Philip Miller with the Cornishes Basic, in with a chance of that bonus. £4,000 on the table if they can stay clear too. So this is a very valuable class for them. Basic, a Dutch-bred horse by Berlin. Touches the double, but clear through there. Now just 2 more. And a very nice payday in prospect. To the last, certainly plenty of scope. 42.95 and gives the clear round to take the lead for Philip Miller in Basic. Good time, we've seen quicker, but that clear securing a big share of the bonus. Rob Maguire watching on there. He's in fact won this title before with Zinadan. Nicole Pavit contests the 4th. Another chance for her now. Owned by the Old Lodge is by Cornet Obolensky, Westphalian, and goes back to the breeding of Spartan. Cornet Obolensky, the championship medal-winning horse of Marco Kutscher of Germany, and seeing several of those horses now coming through in the top ranks in the Global Champions Tour. Daniel Deusser with a very good horse, Cornet de Moor. Certainly have a turn of foot we've seen from several of them. That's going to prove costly. 4 it is, 4 in 37.42. Very quick time as we've seen, but I'm afraid the speed costs them a fence. 4 there for Nicole Pavit and Contessa. On the angle, Sussex Carantino now. Louise Pavit for the Brendan stud. Again on the AES stud book by Carantino Glory, out of Special to Me. The sisters vying for a chance at this 7-year-old title. And that's gone. So another chance goes. And another one drops them further down the order. One that's in with a chance of big titles at the Horse of the Year show this year, but it's 8 this time, 37.36, dropping them down the order to 9th spot for Louise Pavit and Sussex Carantino. You see them just coming into the double. Off in front, Laura Renwick, Bintang the second. Now this is a very big round. Either Philip Miller takes that whole 4,000 bonus to himself or has to share it with Laura if she can go clear as well with this horse that's been jumping internationally this season by Tangelo van der Zuidhoven. A little of that international experience mean the confidence there to ask a little more. 42.95 to beat, looks well up on that as they come to the last, and it's a very good round for Laura Renwick and Bintang the second. 38.65, delivers the clear and goes into top spot for Laura Renwick and Bintang the second. So in leading position in this Addington Manor 7-year-old final. Certainly lots of discussion around the ring about all the young horses here. Tracy Priest and Market Aminka, the final challenger. Horse bred by Sue and Derek Ricketts, by Kamina, and in fact goes back to the breeding of Tinker's Boy, a horse that was produced here in the UK originally. Alison Bradley, then Nick Skelton, and then finally on with Marcus Fuchs, right up to World Cup final winners. So certainly plenty of international breeding. 4 it is though, so they're not going to lead, but could finish well. 1 more to go. Clears the last, no problem at all. 41.27, finishing on the 4. Tracy Priest and Market Aminka drops them down to 7th place overall. That 1 pole on the floor. As we can see them have to go for it here, but unfortunately proves costly with the 1 fence down for Tracy. So it's a win for Laura Renwick and Bintang the second in this 7-year-old final. She and Philip Miller both sharing that £4,000 bonus, 2,000 each. Nicole Pavit going close in third.
Laura, absolute fantastic win there for you and a double clear.
Yeah, I mean the horses, as you know, with these classes it's sort of clear rounds that count, and he's been clear every day, so he's picked up the bonus as well, but he just won the class like a superstar. He felt really good in his qualified horse of the year show, so I mean it's just a great few days. The horses I jumped now at Grand Prix level, I've brought them on from the 3 and 4 year olds all myself, you know, with the great help from my team, but if it wasn't for classes like or shows like this, you can't really sort of showcase the talent that you've got, so it's great to come here and you know, and give the horses experience, you know, from in all age groups, and also you actually sort of find out what you've got as well, which is great, and it's exciting for the future.
Well, a very exciting week indeed. Laura Renwick, Sun Jack there as well. Pat Hale's presenting to the winning combination. We've seen so many top champions through here over the years. Billy Congo that's gone on to big things, Argento Sultan, all going on to the top level, and I'm sure this one destined for the top as well. The winner of that 7-year-old title, congratulations to Laura Renwick and Bintang.
Well, what a fantastic day it's been here at Addington. What a great jump off. We thought Philip Miller had it, but then Laura came in and pipped him to the post with her fantastic time of 38.65. We hope you've enjoyed watching it. We'll see you again next time.